Everybody, coming at you with another quick and easy recipe to make that's going to be also pretty macro friendly, even though what we're going to be using is pasta shells here. I'm making a pasta Bolognese. The pasta shells are from Sprouts here. We'll also be using some Kerrygolds butter so that the pasta aren't all sticking to one another when they're cooked. What's really important to keep it macro friendly and high in protein is to find a leaner ground beef, like this 93.7 organic grass-fed beef from Sprouts. I'm using 2 pounds of it. Also, I already chopped my onion, my yellow onion, and my garlic, 5 garlic cloves here. So far, I only spent 5 minutes on that recipe. And then another item that took me some time to find was this marinara. I like that marinara because it didn't have any added sugars and it wasn't full of sodium. It didn't have a bunch of sodium like some of the recipes. So this one has 290 milligrams per serving when some went up to 500. So I'll show you all the process of making that meal. You'll notice that there aren't any vegetables in this meal, but that I'm preparing on the side. And you'll know that when we cook veggies, I mean, it's barely gonna add any calories to the meal, so that's not gonna be an issue. So far, this meal is gonna be around 600 calories and about a little over 40 grams of protein. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna go over all the breakdown of the macros, give you some ideas if you wanted to bump up the protein a little bit more. And also, we know people like cheese with their pasta, so also give you an idea of like what you're looking at once you add some cheese to the mix. So yeah, stick around. All right, so after everything was chopped, basically the second step was to put all the ground beef in there with the onion and garlic. I mushed it all together, used a really tiny amount of olive oil so it's not too sticky at the bottom. And I also already put some of the marinara too, again, for it to have a little bit of a liquid in there so it doesn't get all sticky. What I'm gonna do is once it starts cooking, I'm gonna make sure to stir it, so that everything starts to cook. And I do like to put some fresh salt, pepper, and paprika on the meat before I put all the marinara in there. And while that's happening, I have my water boiling right there, and I'll be adding the pasta to it once it's fully boiled. The water started boiling fast in about 5 minutes, so I added the pasta and it's cooking. And over here, I make sure to stir it frequently, that meat, so it doesn't become all mushy. I want it a little bit harder and pretty much fully cooked before I put the rest of my marinara, so I don't have a mushed up meat basically. So gotta keep an eye on it, but in a matter of like 15 minutes or so, the meat's gonna be ready and I'll just have to add the marinara. All right, my meat is pretty much done cooking here. 15 to 20 minutes, I'll be adding the marinara. One thing I wanted to point out with the pasta is that I did add salt to the water. And just so you know, salt isn't bad for you. You actually need it to survive. So as long as the items that you buy aren't jacked up with salt, you can definitely add it to your meals and you'll be just fine. If you're mainly cook at home, you won't really have to worry about salt as long as you don't put handfuls of it on your meals. Pasta is cooked. I added the butter and mixed it in already. That's just what's left of the 2 tablespoons. And for my Instapot, I turn it off because the saute is a high temperature. And right now I want to let it sit at a low temperature, so it's already hot. Gonna just put the rest of the marinara in it. Mix it in well. Maybe turn it on again a little bit, but if you're putting this on a stovetop, you just put it on low and you can let it sit for another 10 minutes and it's ready. So the whole recipe took 30 minutes from start to finish with the prep time. And I'm gonna store my leftovers separate, so I'm not gonna put them in the same container. I'm gonna know exactly how much I need to take out of each item, to have the portion size I want. All right, so here are the ingredients. It's a very simple recipe to make. That's why it's so quick as well. The bulk of the calories come from the ground beef and the pasta. So the whole recipe comes out to 3,500 calories. That's gonna make enough for 6 servings, so that a serving is just under 600 calories. And there you have it, the breakdown for serving size. So like I said, under 600 calories, considering you're having pasta, and you're still getting 40 grams of protein is not bad at all. And I like to bump that protein up a little bit higher by adding a couple eggs, so that gets that protein up to 53.7, but it also bumps up the calories to a little over 700. So you gotta keep that in mind. If you were to do that, you gotta be able to also have that high of a caloric intake. And then if you really like cheese, that's gonna add another 110 calories. Also 6 grams of protein, which is nice, but definitely upping those calories. So if you're having to watch it, you might need to skip that part. So if you have both the couple eggs and the cheese, it comes out to almost 850 calories for about 16 grams of protein. And yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me through the comment section, or you can also reach out to me on Instagram at It's Coach Mark. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful, and I'll be back with some more.